Hi! So here's the thing I've been thinking, and I don't really know whether it's a good idea or not, because I often feel when I try to make posts that are about body positivity and my personal journey with that, that I'm just being really self-indulgent or vain. There's kind of that undercurrent of, do you know what, nobody cares about this, or, you know, fine, people care about it, but it's not that important, like stop making it a big personal deal and stuff. And that's quite hard to handle, because I think, like, I was brought up not to be selfish, not to be vain, not to focus on myself too much, but obviously everyone finds that hard to do. And I do think that a lot of it is a balance issue, in that, you know, I have had to go through this very complicated and at times very difficult and painful process of realising that I am not substandard as a person, as a woman, for having a body that does not fit a specific mould. And although a lot of people still say to me that they don't think that I'm particularly fat or what have you, I guess that might just be because I happen to be surrounded by really lovely people these days on the whole, and I don't come across all those people that did in the past make a massive issue out of it and make fun of me and make my life difficult. And I think also as women, and I'm sure that this probably applies to men as well, but maybe not to the same extent, I don't really know. But certainly it's been my experience and the common experience of many, if not all really, of my female friends that I've had this kind of a discussion with, that we've all had a significant stage in our lives where we felt like we are not good enough, for a lot of different reasons, but a lot of it to do with our bodies, and that actually teaches us to restrict ourselves in a lot of areas. And it isn't just about what you wear, it isn't just about how you physically look and what you choose to put on your face or your body or your self-image. It affects you mentally. It affects your confidence, it affects your assessment of how capable you are, of what you should and shouldn't be allowed to or able to do in life. Generally, it's a much more complex issue than just the physical appearance, because it has ramifications for like so many different areas in your life. And I think it's just really wonderful how there are campaigns like the This Girl Can campaign and We Are the They, and a whole bunch of stuff like on social media and otherwise, that is just starting to really pick up even more on this issue, and how much of a feminist issue it is, which is not to say that body positivity is only for women. I don't believe that that's true at all. I think there's probably a lot of men that need that as well, but I do think, you know, they probably would acknowledge that it is particularly problematic for a lot of women. And I would so have loved it if there were people in my life when I was growing up who had talked to me about what it means to accept and love your body, what it means beyond the issues of vanity or fashion, what it means for me as a person and as a woman. I really wish that there had been more emphasis on you are capable of this, rather than, oh, you're not the sporty type, or you know, laughing because I'm a bit heavy for something, or I broke a chair, or you know, can't run as fast as people. Or one time when I was on my friend's farm and I got stuck between two hay bales trying to climb through, and yeah, I was too big, and that's fine. But like, I was made to feel like it was my fault because I was too big. I just hit puberty earlier than a lot of people. Like, maybe not everyone's supposed to go climbing through hay bales. It's a really crap example, but it just sprang to mind. Like, when you are going through puberty and when you are in your teens, everybody knows that's a more vulnerable period of time. Everybody knows that that is the period in which you really make a lot of decisions that affect your future, because you're looking at what you're going to do in terms of your education and jobs, and where you're going to live and who you're going to spend time with, and what your priorities are in life. And it's really difficult to correct things at a later stage that you have just sort of gone down a certain path because you felt like you weren't good enough, because you felt like there was a whole bunch of stuff you couldn't do. And yes, we do have natural restrictions. There are certain things that, however fit I got, my body is not capable of, or my mind is not capable of. Like, I can train myself, I can learn a hell of a lot, and we all can. We can all do more than we think we can. But, you know, there are natural limits. But within those natural limits, I create my own little limits. And I go from like, oh, I could do all of this stuff out here. You can't see my arms. To like, oh, I can just about do all this stuff down here. And I've really noticed it lately because I'm looking for a job. I've been out of work for 3 months now, and it's been a very stressful experience. I found it incredibly hard to deal with it mentally because I look at myself as quite a strong, capable person. I have a lot of good experience. I have a good degree. You know, on paper, I should be pretty employable. In reality, I've been applying for a whole bunch of different stuff without very much direction, because I haven't allowed myself in the last few years to really think about what I want to do, what I can do. I always come up with all these reasons why I can't do stuff, and as weird as it sounds, possibly, or it might not be weird, maybe you've had this experience as well, the more I deal with my issues with my body, the more I find myself on top of some of my mental, emotional issues, the more I feel like the confidence that I find in my physical self extends to my mental self and my social self. And letting go of the crap that I've held on to, letting go of this feeling of inadequacy in the area of my body, has actually made me realise that I have felt inadequate in lots of other ways as well, and not necessarily with good reason. I don't really know exactly what the point of this little rant, discussion, monologue thing is. Only I'm just really interested to know whether this is something you relate to, whether this is something that you have experienced, or maybe your mum or your sister or your daughter or some friends of yours have experienced and discussed. And I would so love to have a dialogue with you. I would so love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And definitely in the next few months on my blog, I'd really like to sort of discuss some of these issues a bit more. I know I write a lot about my own experiences and things, but I would love to interview some people or hear some people's ideas for how that can be tackled, or maybe how they are tackling it. I'm going to do some stuff with my mum. We went on a shopping trip a while back where, you know, we were both, I think, going through a stage where we were struggling with the whole what can I get away with kind of thing, rather than, you know, what expresses me as a confident person. And it was so lovely to do that together. And it was more than just clothes. It was, you know, having a heart to heart and recognising that, you know, it's not a mask, putting on your clothes or your makeup. It doesn't have to be a mask. It's to do with expressing who you are and like having the necessary confidence to get on with life. Like, you don't want to be so paranoid about what you look like that you just can't do stuff. I mean, how ridiculous is that? My mum is such a wonderful, capable woman, and it was totally killing me to see her like freaking out about, oh, what if that shows my tummy too much, and or what if I can't wear that because I'm short, and like, she's absolutely gorgeous, and I really wanted the opportunity to show her that. So we had this whole shopping trip day, and it was just a really, I felt like, cathartic process for both of us. And she's agreed to like have a little feature on my blog and have a chat about it. But I would so love to extend that to any of you that has actually sat through what is now nearly 9 minutes of me rambling on, because I think this is a really big problem, and it shouldn't be. It needs to be tackled, it needs to be addressed. And it's all very well there being advertising campaigns and social media campaigns, but it is on the personal level, in those day-to-day discussions with people, I think, that we learn the most, and that we really can apply stuff to ourselves, because it's not out there anymore, it's here. And I would love to find a way to do something more positive in that regard to help people with it. Not claiming to be any kind of mentor or guru or whatever, but I just think the freedom to discuss it and not feel like it's a vanity issue, not feel like it's irrelevant and it's just, ooh, girls being emotional, another dismissive, sort of very anti-female kind of approach in life, I feel. It's not helpful to correlate emotions with weakness. But that's a whole other discussion. Anyway, I'm rounding up for 10 minutes here, so I'm just going to sign off and post it. But Please talk to me, tell me what you think, tell me what you've experienced. I would so love to take this further.